Good day and welcome to another session of Larteen Math Drive tutorials. So this video is a part 1 of the calculator basics or fundamentals, and we are basically going to talk about how to input or activate the calculator keys and also how to use all the keys on a calculator. So without wasting much time, let us move on to today's agenda. Now, let us start with a discussion on how to activate the calculator keys. So when we check on our scientific calculator, we can see that there are a lot of keys, and these keys are of different colors. So the color of the keys are not just there for the design of the calculator, but rather they play a very important role when we are inputting expressions, equations, or any other thing into the calculator. So the scientific calculator keys have been categorized into two groups. We have what we call the keycap function keys, and we also have what we call the alternate function keys. So now, let us discuss about the keycap function keys. So on our calculator, the keycap function keys are the keys that are white and black in color. And these keys are directly labeled on the calculator keycap. So the keycap is the hard substance where the numbers and all other symbols have been indicated. So as I initially stated, the keycap function keys are the keys that are white and black in color. So for the keys that are white and black in color, we have the numbers from 0 to 9. We also have the symbols such as the fraction symbol, the square root symbol. And these keys can be activated by directly tapping on the corresponding key. For instance, if I want to activate the 9 button, then what I have to do is to simply tap on the 9 button. If I want to activate the 8, I simply tap on 8. If I want to activate the delete button, I simply tap on the delete button. Why? Because they are black in color. And if I also want to activate the symbols, then I also simply have to do same. For example, if I want to activate the square root symbol, then I simply have to tap on the square root symbol. So if I tap on the square root symbol, square root will appear. If I tap on the fraction symbol, the fraction symbol will also appear. So these are basically how we activate the keycap function keys. Now, let us also talk about the alternate function keys. So the alternate function keys are the keys that have very small markings, and they are located just above the keycap function keys. So every keycap function keys has an alternate function key. So for example, when we check the keycap function key CALC, its alternate function key is the solve and the equal to. When we also check the keycap function key 9, its alternate function key is the clear. That is the CLR. So the alternate function keys are categorized into 4 different color groups. So we have the keys that are yellow in color, we have those that are red in color, we have those that are green in color, and we also have those that are purple in color. And how do we activate these keys? So these keys cannot be activated by directly tapping on the corresponding key as we did for the keycap key. So for the alternate function keys, we have to use a particular combination to activate them. And how do we do that? So this is where the shift and the alpha comes into place. So for the alternate function keys that are yellow in color, we use the shift button to activate them. So all the keys that are yellow in color can be activated by using the shift button. Now, when we check on top of the bracket open sign, we have the percentage sign, and it is yellow in color, which means we have to use the shift button to activate it. So what I have to do is to simply tap on my shift and then my bracket close sign. Then the percentage sign will appear on the calculator. And also, if I want to activate the comma button, so the comma button is located on top of the bracket close sign. So on top of the bracket close sign, we have the comma button, and it is also yellow in color, which means I will have to use the shift key to activate it. So I simply tap on my shift and the bracket close sign. So this applies to all the other keys that are also yellow in color. So if I want to activate the mixed fraction sign, which is on top of the fraction symbol, then I have to use the shift key to activate it. So I tap on the shift key and the fraction symbol. If I want to activate the cube root symbol, so the cube root symbol is located on top of the square root symbol. I tap on the shift key and then the square root symbol, then the cube root will appear. So that is basically how we activate the yellow alternate function keys on the calculator. We use the shift key to activate them. What of the keys that are red in color? How do we activate them? So for the keys that are red in color, we use the alpha key to activate them. So all the variables on the calculator are red in color, which means we use the alpha key to activate the variables on the calculator. For instance, the variable x, which is located on top of the bracket close sign, can be activated by using the alpha. So I simply tap on the alpha and the bracket close sign. Then x will be activated on the calculator screen. If I want to activate a, so a is on top of the negative sign. I tap on alpha, then I tap on the negative sign, then a will appear. If I want to activate b, I tap on alpha, then I tap on this particular symbol, then the b will also appear. Why? Because they are all of the same color as the alpha. So if I also want to activate the equal to sign, so the equal to sign is located on top of the CALC key. So if I want to activate it, then I will have to use the alpha to activate it by simply tapping on the alpha and the CALC. So we basically use the alpha to activate all the keys that are red in color. So what are the keys that are green in color? How do we activate them? So for the green keys, we can only activate them when we are in the base n calculation mode. So we use the base n calculation mode for solving computations involving number bases. So let me demonstrate it to you. So I'll first enter the base n calculation mode. So I'll activate the mode menu by tapping on the mode button. So this is the mode button. Then I choose option 4, that is the base n. So this is where I can now activate the green buttons on the calculator. So if I tap on this particular button, the hex will appear on the calculator screen. If I tap on this, bin will come, and this is also oct, and we use them to convert from one base to the other. What of the purple key on the calculator? How do we activate the purple key on the calculator? So we basically have only one purple key on the calculator, which is the I. And we can basically activate that particular key when we are in the complex number calculation mode. So now let me enter the complex number calculation mode. I tap on mode, I choose option 2, which is CMPLX. So CMPLX is an abbreviation for complex. Now I have entered the complex numbers mode, which has been indicated on top of the calculator screen. So now I will tap on the ENG button. So the ENG is an abbreviation for engineering notation. So if I tap on this, then the I will appear. So that is the I button, and we use it to solve problems involving complex numbers. And we will be talking about this in our subsequent videos, so make sure you don't forget to subscribe to the channel. So we have basically learned about how to activate the calculator keys. Now, let us move on to learn about how to use the scientific calculator keys. So now, we are going to solve some sample questions which have been structured to help us familiarize ourselves with the calculator keys. So what I need you to do is to get your calculator, monitor the combinations that I use, and then follow my demonstration. So without wasting much time, let us move on to the first question. So for our first question, we have 96 times 3. So what we have to do is input 96 times 3, then we subsequently tap on our equal to sign. So 96 times 3, then equal to, as easy as that. And for our second question, we have a fraction of 9 out of 5 plus 2 whole number 1 out of 3. And the question is demanding us to leave our answer in a mixed fraction form. So I will have to input the whole expression into the calculator and then tap on my equal to. And afterwards, I subsequently convert it into the mixed fraction as required by the question. So it is a fraction, so I start with my fraction sign. So this is my fraction sign. I input the numerator of 9. Then I use the arrow keys to navigate to the denominator. Then I tap on 5. Then I use that same arrow keys to navigate to the right side of the expression. Then I activate my plus sign, plus 2 whole number 1 out of 5. So when we check on top of the fraction symbol, we have the mixed fraction symbol. So I will have to activate the mixed fraction symbol. So the mixed fraction symbol is yellow in color, which means I will have to use the shift to activate it. So I tap on shift, then I tap on the fraction symbol. I input the respective number, so 2, then I use the arrow keys to navigate to the numerator. 1 out of 3. So 1, then I use the arrow key to navigate to the denominator, then I input 3. So I have successfully inputted the expression into the calculator. So what I have to do is to simply tap on my equal to sign. So the answer to this particular expression is 62 out of 15, which is an improper fraction. So if we want to convert this fraction into decimals, then we simply have to tap on our SD. So this is the SD button. So this is 4.13. So the bar on top of the 3 is signifying that the 3 request, which means the result to this particular expression is 4.1333333 up to what? Infinity. Now, the question is requiring x to leave our answer in a mixed fraction form. And how do we leave our answer in a mixed fraction form? So when we check on top of the SD, we can locate another mixed fraction symbol. And it is yellow in color, which means I will have to use the shift to activate it. So I simply tap on my shift, then I tap on the SD. So this particular fraction is equal to 4 whole number 2 out of 15. So that is all for the second question. Now let us move on to the third question. So for the third question, we have this particular expression and we have to simplify it. So what we have to do is to input it as it is. So we have the square root of 9. So I first input the square root of 9. So this is our square root symbol. So the square root of 9. Then I will use the replay key to navigate out of the square root sign. Then I activate my addition sign plus 2 squared. So 2, but this is the square sign. Then I tap on the square times the cube root of 8. So the cube roots can be located on top of the square root sign. And it is yellow in color, which means I will have to use the shift to activate it. So I tap on shift, then I tap on the square root sign to activate the cube root sign. So cube root of 8. So I will use the arrow key again to navigate out of the cube root sign. Then I activate my subtraction sign. So minus 9 raised to the power 7. So I tap on 9. Then I activate the power sign, which is this particular button. 7. So as simple as that, we have successfully entered the whole expression into the calculator. So I tap on my equal to, then the calculator simplifies it for us. So this is the answer to the third question. Now let us move on to the fourth question. So for the fourth question, we have this particular expression. So it starts with the tan inverse of 1. So we input it as such. So I tap on my AC to clear the calculator screen. Then I input tan inverse of 1. So the tan inverse can be located on top of the tan button, and it is yellow in color, which means I will have to use the shift key to activate it. So I tap on shift and then I tap on the tan button to activate the tan inverse button. Then I input 1, then I close the bracket. Plus the log of 4 squared base 16. So this particular sign is what we have to use. So I tap on my addition sign, then I activate this sign. Then I input the base, which is 16. Then I use the arrow keys to navigate into the bracket sign. Then I input 4 squared. So I'll input the 4. Then I activate my square button. So, and afterwards I will use the same replay key to come out of the bracket sign. Plus the sign of 90. So plus sign 90. So plus, so this is the sign button. I activate it. Then I input 90. Then I close the bracket. So I have successfully repeated the whole expression into the calculator. Then I tap on the equal to. So the answer to this particular question is what? 47. Now let us move on to the fifth question. So for the fifth question, we have 6 permutation 3 plus 5 combination 4 plus 2 pi. So if you try to go by the manual way of solving, you will have to use the formula for the permutation as well as the formula for the combination before you can successfully simplify this expression, which will quite be cumbersome. So if you know how to use the calculator to input it, then you are good to go. So follow my demonstration as I input this particular expression. So we have 6 permutation 3. So the permutation sign can be located on top of the multiplication symbol. So and it is yellow in color, so which means I will have to use the shift key to activate it. So we have 6 permutation 3. So I tap on 6, then I use the shift key to activate the permutation button. So shift plus the multiplication sign. So permutation 3, then I tap on 3 plus 5 combination 4. So I tap on 5. So the combination sign can be located on top of the division sign. So and it is also yellow in color, so I will use the shift key to activate it. So I tap on shift, then I tap on the division sign, combination 4, plus 2 pi. So plus 2 pi. So I tap on 2, and the pi button is located on top of the times 10 raised to the power x. So this is the pi button, and it is also yellow in color, which means I will have to use the shift to activate it. So I tap on shift, then I tap on this particular button. So I have successfully inputted the whole expression into the calculator. So what is left for me to do is to simply tap on my equal to sign. And the calculator simplifies it for us. So this is our answer, 131.28. So from the questions that we have solved, we have used most of the keys on the calculator. Now let us discuss the other keys that we haven't made use of. So the CALC key is used for solving algebraic expressions. So it does substitution after you have inputted a particular function or expression into the calculator. So that is basically how we use the CALC key. And on top of the CALC key, we have the solve. And the solve helps us to solve problems involving equations. And we will be talking about both of them in our subsequent videos. So make sure you don't forget to subscribe. So this is the integral symbol. This particular button, that's the integral symbol. And on top of it, we have the differential symbol. And we use this particular symbols to solve problems involving calculus, that is definite integrals. And also, this is the x inverse button. So if you want to find the inverse of a particular number, for instance, 9 inverse, you simply tap on 9, then you activate the x inverse button. So the inverse of any number is simply 1 out of that particular number. So this will give us 1 out of 9. This applies to all other numbers. And when we check the numbers from 0 up to 9, it has its respective alternate function keys. And for the 1, its alternate function key is the statistics/distribution. For the 2, we have C and PLX. For the 3, we have base up to 9, clear. And these particular keys can be activated after we have entered a particular mode on the calculator. So now, let us do this particular demonstration. Let us see if we can activate these particular buttons in our calculator default. So I want to activate statistics/distribution. So it is yellow in color, which means I will have to use the shift to activate it. So I tap on shift, then I tap on 1. Have you seen that nothing happened? Which means it cannot be used at our calculator default. So now let me enter the statistics calculation mode. So I press on mode. So the statistics is the option 3, STAT. So I tap on 3, and I tap on AC. So now I am in the statistics calculation mode. And let us see if I can activate that same button. So I tap on shift, and then I tap on 1. So have you seen that a menu has appeared? Which means those particular buttons cannot be activated at our calculator default, but rather it can be activated after we have entered their respective calculation modes. Okay, and also we have the ANS button. So the ANS button gives the answer for the immediate past question that you solved. For instance, if I solve the calculation 6 times 3, and I tap on my equal to sign and then tap on AC. If I tap on answer and then I tap on equal to, the calculator will give me the answer for the previous question that I inputted into the calculator. So that is how we use the ANS key. So ANS is an abbreviation for answer. So now on top of the RCL, we have STO, and STO is an abbreviation for store. And we use this particular button to store values into the calculator. For instance, if I want to store the value 5 into the X memory of the calculator, what I have to do is to press on 5. Then I activate the store. So when we check the store is yellow in color, which means I will have to use the shift to activate it. So I tap on shift, then I tap on RCL. Then after this, I tap on the bracket close sign for X. So if I tap on the bracket close sign, you can see that the 5 has been stored into the X memory of our calculator, and we can then use it for our further calculations. So if I want to check if actually X has been stored into the X memory of the calculator, what I have to do is to tap on RCL, and then I tap on the bracket close sign. So we can see that S is equal to what? 5. So this is basically how we store values into the calculator memory, and we are going to talk more about them in our subsequent videos. So make sure you do not forget to subscribe to the channel. So in the subsequent videos that we will be making, we are going to dive deeper into how to use all these keys into details. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and stay tuned. So this is all for the part 1 of the calculator basics tutorials, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you do not miss the other parts of the calculator basics video. My name is Larteen and I appreciate the time that we had together. Thank you and have a nice day.